Ephesians 3:8, to me, though I am the very least of all the saints, this grace was given to preach to the Gentiles the unsearchable riches of Christ. This word unsearchable is the exact same word that's found in Romans 11:33. Again, not meaning that you shouldn't search, but that we will never reach the depths of his riches. They're higher than the highest. They're lower than the lowest point. They're great. They are vast. And they stand ready for you and for me. Listen, today there is a huge telescope circling our globe, the Hubble telescope. And yet we stand and we look out in the morning or in the evening and think, how awesome this is. To see the sun, the stars, the moon, and yet there is a telescope that is up in the space who is sending back daily things that we can't even imagine to show the glories of God. There are people today who are standing on the beach. Many of you may be headed there. The rest of us, we can imagine, but as you're standing on the beach and you are looking out at the ocean, at the vastness of the ocean, and you are just taking in, God, this is incredible. This is overwhelming. Do you realize that you are limited by your vision? Because as far as you can see, the ocean still goes even further. And yet, you're looking at just below the deep, and yet it goes to the deepest points. There are things that you would never be able to see. And yet, we still say, God, you are awesome. And yet there is still so much more that we cannot see or understand or comprehend. And yet all of that, his riches should drive us to our response. It demands a response of worship. And oftentimes what we think is that the worship is just when we come here, that we need to sing when Travis says sing. Listen, tomorrow morning, this afternoon, when we walk away from here, it ought to be, our worship should be a life that is lived for his glory, that demands his worship.